Hey everybody, how's it? Aloha, Jeeps here, your old composer here at the Decomposer Lounge, dissecting, pulling back the layers of your favorite tracks that you suggest to me. Okay, Radiohead today, and I can't believe I haven't done Creep. Radiohead is a band like Tool on this channel that I've been learning about as I go. I get a lot of comments saying, come on dude, what are you, under a rock? You don't know these bands, you don't know these songs. And I'm fixing on doing a video just answering that question, so maybe I'll do that this weekend. But nonetheless, I look forward to this. Radiohead has become quickly one of my most favorite artist bands, and across the board, because of their composition and their arrangements and the techniques that they use to express themselves with less is more. You know, with their arrangements, his voice, well, that's already otherworldly. But I've really enjoyed the journey with Radiohead. So I want to thank you guys, because it took me a while before I got there. I think it was 3 months since the channel had started before I did my first Radiohead, I believe. So I want to thank you guys for that. I want to also thank you guys so much. I had a little bump in people buying me a cup of coffee. It really is appreciated. I really do appreciate it. It also helps me do with what I do with the kids. Even though I can't get back into the hospitals yet as an entertainer, I do other things and also fundraising. Thank you for that. Link will be down below for the coffee, for the headsets, for Radiohead, Spotify, and my Patreon. My Patreon seems to be bumping a little bit. I have a Radiohead track on there. And what I do on Patreon stays on Patreon. It's not like an early release thing. So if you want to go over there and just click on the link, check it out. Even if you just go and visit me for a month, you know, and you watch everything and you back out, you know, to the next month, that's cool too. But you know, Patreon and the members and the membership there is also helping me quite a bit as well. So I want to thank you all for that. All right, let's do this. Radiohead, Creep. All right.
When you were here before, couldn't look you in the eye. You're just like an angel. Your skin makes me cry. You float like a feather in a beautiful world. I wish I was special. You're so fucking special. But I'm a creep. I'm a widow. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here.
Okay, so obviously I didn't expect that. I think this is the very first track from Radiohead that I heard, you know, harsh, you know, power guitar chords in their tracks that I've listened to here on my channel. Well, first of all, one of the things that's really consistent that I'm feeling about Radiohead is the intimacy of the mix. Now, you know how I am about engineering. It is so important. When you as the pure listener, me listening to tracks, this presentation of an artist or a band, the engineering is so important. The decisions to be made in there are incredibly monumental. You know, what do we give it? Do we give it an ambient sound? What kind of a vibe do we want to give it? This one is really super intimate. The drum sounds like it's in like one of your bigger back rooms. Like it could be like, you know, you're at home and maybe your friend is practicing drums in the back. There's a little, obviously it's professionally recorded, and you know, there's a really nice warm room sound. But because of that, you can kind of give it a little bit of a push in the mix. And in this case, I was also caught off guard because I don't recall the drums in the other tracks to have been as forward as this. So obviously part of the journey is you know, enjoying things like the mix. 4 chords, it sounds like, in the song thus far. I'm sure maybe there's a bridge or a turnaround coming up. That guitar sound, that really super powerful crunch sound, that is really just fat and organic and stuff. It doesn't sound like there's a lot of compression. It doesn't sound like it's really built to give you a really hard left, hard right experience. But here's what I love. His voice, I already said it before, his voice is just wonderful. I'm not listening to the lyrics because I'm just enjoying the presentation. I know I've got Radiohead fans that are going, no, that's so... But I've been doing lyrical breakdowns on Patreon, and I've started over here, so maybe I'll do a Radiohead of one of the songs I've already done lyrical breakdowns to get into it. Anyhow, that being said, what I love is he does not change the power of his performance when the guitars come in. So here you have this musical build of like heaviness. It sounds heavy. Heavy in the mix. Got the drums going. Got that subtle, guitar pattern that's happening, which is really nice because it also has kind of a tremolo that kind of stays in a rhythm itself. And then the power comes in, so you feel the production comes up, but he's still in this zone. He's still, it's kind of creepy. I guess that's what it is. All right, let's go. Let's continue on. Stand by. All right.
I wanna have control. I want a perfect body. I want a perfect soul. I want you to notice when I'm not around. So fucking special. I wish I was special, but I'm a creep. I'm a widow. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here.
Okay. Well, now obviously he lit it up a little bit to meet the power of what was happening with the arrangements and the musicians and stuff. What I wanted to bring up is when we go into the darker, the heavy chords start to come in for the hook. I really started to get into that particular arrangement only through this because, the bass, the importance of the bass is you identify with the chord changes. When it gets heavy, when the production gets heavy like this, and you've got multiple layers going on, especially when it's long, dark performance, you rely sometimes on the bass to identify the chord changes because they're not as clearly heard as, let's say, in the verses with the changes that we heard, with the guitar and stuff. There are the 4 chords that are changing. Well, it's not that identifiable when the hook comes in, so the bass really keeps you in that pattern. But it sounds like the guitar on the left side is following suit of the chords. But what I love about the arrangement of the guitar on the right, it sounds like there are 16th notes that are going on, but it's a different arrangement. It's an additional arrangement to the chord playing. So it's not just this guitar following the same 4 chords. And even if you followed the same 4 chords and changed the rhythm of it, it probably would have been a little bit like, something's missing there. And so what they did on this side, in this guitar arrangement, it's a separate melodic arrangement. So you'll hear what he's singing, obviously is the hook. There's no two ways about it. We identified that already. But here, when we go back into that, when you listen to the song again, listen to the notes that are being played here. I think it's in fifths or something, or whatever, but there's a definite da, 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 da. There's movement happening here that's outside of the chord progression that they're using here, and I love that about what I'm hearing here. And then, of course, like I said earlier, that's where he lights it up. He has got such a unique, identifiable voice, and it is so cool because so far I haven't heard anything outside of the this tone that he uses. I don't hear screaming, I don't hear pushing and stuff. I'm sure there's probably tracks I haven't listened to, but it's just so identifiable. There's something about, for me, and the songs that I've done so far on this channel, and they're heavy, these tracks, even though I don't listen to lyrics, and I catch bits and pieces, and man, it's pretty heavy, is just, somebody could say, I love you, and just within the tone of someone's voice of saying it, even if you say it as mono as that, you could feel it, if it's, I love you, fine. If he said I love you, everybody would go, I believe you. It just has that ability with his performance, his presence, to make you feel every word. Even though I'm not listening to words, it's a tone projection, it's a melody projection that just keeps pulling me into his voice, So, all right, let's finish this up.
Whatever makes you happy, whatever you want, you're so fucking special. I wish I was special, but I'm a creep. I'm a widow. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. I don't belong here.
Wow. Did you hear that little bass phrase at the end? That was so cool. I missed that from, I don't know, back in my days in the 60s and 70s. There would be really fun little ends of tracks. The bass might do some kind of, slide or something. That was really cool. I love the fact now, I don't believe I heard any piano through that track, and if it was somewhere in the hook, perhaps it was sunk back down. But that was a very interesting addition to the arrangement, and it was really unique because the voicings he was using kind of filled up a middle. So the voicings of the guitar pattern that's happening are really nice and wide open and stuff, and the ambience of it, because of it letting it ring out, and also that nice kind of tremolo vibrato effect on it, that was, once again, sounded like it was in time, which is a purposeful thing in engineering, or when it comes to musicians who are, planning their compositions. That little thing caught me off guard where they kind of kept a feedback in there for a second, but perhaps once I get to read the lyrics, it's probably indicative of the whole sonic fabric, the service of it, that the way they want to serve it to you is that it's kind of creepy, kind of weird and stuff like that. And to me, that was kind of typically, most times an engineer's, let's clip that out. That was a mistake or something. That doesn't sound right, but maybe it's creepy at the very end. And also the last thing about this is just another wonderful example on how you don't need to be doing so much with your, if you're a musician coming up, or if you're writing your own songs, or moving in that way, in that trajectory. These are 4 chords, it sounded like, through the whole song. But what's really unique about this are the moving and the amount of layers that they pull in and out. Some of it is pop culture song construction. You want to come in with an intro and then bring it down for storytelling, and then start to build, and then the big hook comes in, and then you bring it down, but then maybe leave another arrangement just gliding in there. And it could be as light as how, let's say, the drummer might be, working the ride, the bell on the cymbal or something like that, or maybe just changing up the pattern of the bass, and then it blows into a bigger part of the composition, second hook, and then it really kind of held its own, and then what did it do? It dropped down for his last verse and stuff like that, and then even that was more drastic than the first verse, because I think the drums completely cut out, except for maybe I think the kick may have stayed in, And it may have been for, just 4 bars and stuff, but it really took you on that emotional journey. It was build, and then I want this final message to get through, what he's saying, the emotion of how he's singing, what it is, and then he blows it out there, for the end. And then, like I said, I just love the piano when that came in and filled up the voicings and the richness of the track. Anyhow, guys, listen, thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you so much for your subscriptions, your suggestions. Thank you so much for those of you who have or who will in the future buy me a cup of coffee, because, it's not monetized when you see any advertising on this. It doesn't monetize my channel. And so the link for Radiohead, Spotify, for the headsets, for the cup of coffee, and my Patreon will be below. All right, everybody, I really do appreciate you guys hanging out. I really do appreciate your comments. Sometimes if I'm having kind of a cloudy day, I go through the comments deep, and go, wow. And then all of a sudden, this guy said what? Oh, bummer. You hang your butt out there in social media. You get all kinds of comments, don't we? All right, guys, take care. Aloha. All right.